Well, that movie was disappointing. My name is Thomas Sicily Jr., aka Mustache Tom, and this is my review for Sicario. So, granted that the movie's opening was pretty damn strong and its ending was strong, I gotta say the middle of this movie was either confusing or just flat out boring. There are a few scenes here and there that kind of stood out, but it did kind of lend itself to being, again, either confusing or boring, so I can kind of see where the movie was going toward the end, and I was quite honestly confused. I mean, I didn't know who I was supposed to be rooting for. Uh, I mean, we don't really get an answer of why this woman was prompted from the CIA to work for these pretty much mercenaries until near the end of the movie. And even after she figures it out, she says, oh, I'm gonna stick around and find out what they're really up to, or something like that. And then she ends up getting shot, but then she survives because she saw something she shouldn't have, or something. And then at some point, this movie, near that point, it feels like it becomes the Hispanic guy's movie. He's sort of like this agent of theirs, and then he goes to this family's house of this guy who's been killing everybody, and then he kills the entire family. That was pretty intense, but I mean, leading up to that was so confusing. Like, there's this whole part where uh, that guy from The Walking Dead, I can't remember his name, the guy who plays Shane is in this movie, and he plays some guy who just sort of pops into this bar. The woman, the CIA agent, sees him, and then they end up like falling in love. And then she sees this wristband, and she connects it to this wristband she saw earlier, and then she knows he's a bad guy, and this somehow leads them to finding that other guy. And quite frankly, I was confused. Like, the setup was just so, I guess it was so minimal. Either that or there just wasn't enough going on in terms of what was being said, that it was too much of a mystery. And I do think that it does lend itself to being kind of a big issue for this kind of movie, is that we should sort of at least at the halfway point already know who the main bad guys are. But I mean, there's this twist, and then the Hispanic guy like tells the CIA agent to sign something or he'll kill her, and then she just does, and that's the end of the movie. And like I said, I think this movie could have been a lot better if the middle of the section was more filled with parts that served to make the ending more believable or make any sense. Like, I was trying to piece together how they got to that point, and like I said, they just sort of throw this guy in and that's it. Like, there's nothing else that seems to really connect to this point of the movie. Um, so I do think that this movie is good, but I don't think it's great by any standards. There are a few action scenes here and there. Like I said, the ending particularly stands out, but like I said, the middle of the movie kind of draws it back from being a 7 out of 10 in my book. I feel like this movie could have been more well handled in delivering a good main character that we could follow through the entire movie, and kind of gave us this, oh, she's not a mother uh, or anything like that. Like, she doesn't have anything to hold on to, so she's the perfect candidate. Like, that's her entire character, and I don't feel like they developed her all that much, and she just sort of sticks with it until the end, and then, you know. So, in the end, I'm gonna give this movie a 5 out of 10. I feel like it's a movie that kind of missed the mark a little bit, but had enough there to keep me just until the end. So with that being said, this has been Thomas Sasula Jr., aka Mustache Tom, and I'll see you guys next time.